Hello everyone, this is Michael with the general reading for Gemini Sun, Moon, Rising for the month of June 2019. I do hope this video finds you all well. Happy solar return, happy birthday to those of you who are having a birthday in June or who have already had one. I hope you are having a great start to your new year of life. And also celebrating with your Gemini loved ones for those of you who are cross-watching for a Gemini. I am really curious to see what's going to be coming up for you. Solar returns tend to be a really big time of year for people where there's a lot of change, there's a lot of reflection, kind of taking stock of what's going on in your life, and then sometimes you lose some stuff, sometimes you gain some stuff. It can be a very interesting time, kind of a good reset. I do actually have some interesting cards here as I was shuffling, kind of tuning into your energy before I begin recording. We have the Four of Wands, which tells me that some of you are really moving on. You're graduating into something new. Some of you might actually be graduating with, kind of graduation season amidst us. This could also be moving into a new home or getting a new promotion or just some sort of advancement, going to the next level. And that could also be in relationships as well, or even just in your personal life or some sort of personal achievement. You're moving up. You're going on. There's something to celebrate here. A lot of you are going to be celebrating a lot in the month of June, perhaps going to a party or something like that, or some sort of special occasion. I do have this Five of Cups as well, so there is some disappointment. To be honest, crying over spilled milk a little bit here. It does hurt, but I feel like whatever emotions are coming up for you right now, or going to be coming up for you, Gemini, we have a lot of good things coming your way. This is a good thing. You might be a bit sad about what you're leaving behind or what is getting left behind, but I promise you that this is much better than what you had before. You're moving into something better and more solid, and just better long term. So that is really, really exciting. Obviously, we do have a lot of planets moving into your sign throughout the month of June. We actually have a new moon in Gemini on June 3rd. And that's going to be kind of an interesting time because there's also going to be Pluto conjuncting Venus in Taurus. So there's going to be a very big shift in relationship. There's going to be a big kind of redefining the way we go about relationships. The way I'm almost feeling like expect the unexpected is kind of the feeling I get. There's just going to be a lot of new beginnings, a lot of exciting energy. Gemini new moon is all about excitement. And with all of these planets moving into Gemini, it might be hard to commit to one thing. It might be hard to settle into one thing because you just want to be all over the place. It's like now that we're moving out of Taurus season where things were very solid, very consistent, that might have gotten a bit bland for some people. So especially for Gemini, I feel like there's just going to be a lot of exciting energy. And just kind of give yourself time and energy, the space, rather, to explore. I feel like that is really, really important. We are going to have a Sagittarius full moon, I want to say on, I think it's the 18th or 19th. All of this information is in the blog post down below, so if you're curious about kind of the astrological forecast, it's much more in depth. Again, not an exhaustive list, but just some notes that I have made for the sake of these videos. But anyway, with that full moon in Sagittarius, it does feel like there's going to be a lot of it's a good time to release yourself from things that make you feel stuck, because Sagittarius is the sign of freedom. And full moons are all about releasing blockages. So anything that makes you feel stuck, or makes you feel trapped, or makes you feel like you can't expand your horizons or go on into something new, that's going to be a really, really good time to release things. And of course, it's always good to set your intentions right around the new moon, and then to kind of release things with the full moon, or even to release things in that waning gibbous a couple of days after the full moon. That's a good time to release things as well. And that will actually help with whatever it is you're trying to manifest or bring into your reality. What else is happening? The big event, of course, we have Neptune going retrograde later this month. I want to say the 27th of June, and that is going to be in its native sign, Pisces. So there is going to be a lot of pulling down the veils, a lot of, I feel like dreams are going to become much more vivid, much more clear. Expect kind of an enhanced intuitive faculty at that time. But it can also kind of come with some rude awakenings. When Neptune is going forward, it just kind of in its direct route, things can be subject to delusions, deceptions, kind of sneaky energy. Neptune is a very vacuous energy, and it can make things kind of foggy. So when we have it go retrograde, things become much clearer. But that can suddenly make us realize things. Oh, this person was lying to me this whole time, or oh, I thought the contract was this, but it was actually this, and it can kind of be a rude wake up call. But overall, it's a pretty positive time. It's a good time. It's like the veils are lifting, and I think it's a really, now that we have all of these outer planets, we have Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto all in retrograde. We have Neptune joining the fray. I think that's really going to clarify some of the things we've been reflecting on, especially in terms of long-term plans. It's really going to help us see things clearly, and that's already been an emphasis for a lot of us. So that is exciting. With that full moon being in your opposite sign, there might also be a lot of intense emotions that are coming up in partnerships or in close relationships. So just kind of keep that on your radar as well. If things feel really intense, it's just that moon is really bringing things up that need to be addressed. I don't like the thing with astrology where people will blame the planets or blame certain aspects or transits on that planet. It's like that energy was already there. It brought that energy to the surface. So that's a good way to think of astrology, and that's a good way to think of this full moon. It's going to be bringing all of these things to the surface that need to be addressed, especially regarding long-term plans, spirituality, higher learning, higher education, travel, just where you want to go, where you want to be next. That's going to be a big emphasis for a lot of us by the end, or by that Sagittarius full moon, which again I believe is the 18th or the 19th. Definitely check the blog post. And that's pretty much it for kind of the general astrological read. I don't want to go too overboard with it. These videos tend to get pretty long as it is. But before we begin, I do also want to just thank all of you who have been hitting like and subscribe. It really helps this channel grow. I'm amazed that I'm able to be a part of this growing YouTube community where people are just so supportive. It's unlike any online community I've been a part of. And it's beautiful to see people opening up in the comments and sharing their stories. I think it helps people realize that they're not going through things alone, that we're all actually going through similar things, we're all going through similar cycles, and that's just what's so amazing about these tarot readings online. So thank you so much for sharing your experiences. I do have information for personal readings and distance Reiki sessions and a lot of other stuff in my description box down below. Also donation information, again, the blog posts, lots of good stuff. Definitely check it out. I am also going to be doing giveaways on this channel as we hit certain subscriber counts. So once we hit 10,000 subscribers, I am going to announce on all of my social media, on my Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, a giveaway where the winner will have a choice between a free reading or a free Reiki session. So if you're interested in that and you haven't already, definitely hit subscribe. And also follow me on Instagram where I post general readings and pick card readings, as well as my Facebook where I'm posting all of these blog posts and just giving updates on there as well. So just a good way to stay in the know for what I'm doing. So thank you for all of your support. I am just going to kind of clear the energy now before we begin. Oh, I almost forgot my spiel. This is a general reading, meaning that not all the messages that come through are meant for you. It is up to your own discretion and discernment to figure out what is applicable to your life and what is to be left behind for someone else. Some of the energy may come in the reverse. A third party might actually be your own energy, or vice versa. You might actually be presenting more as the third party. Also, don't get too hung up on the gender of the cards, and even the astrological signs of the cards. It's all about the energy, just the way things are currently being expressed right now. Don't focus too much on the specifics if it doesn't apply, but if it does, it's just another nudge from the universe that this is the right video for you. I do also have love readings for the middle of June, or for the middle of May to the middle of June already posted, and of course you are welcome to check out your other videos, your sun, moon, and rising sign. And the Venus one is more for love, so look at the love readings if you're more curious about your love life. Anyway, that I think is actually everything. So now I'm going to tune the energy really quickly. And I definitely invite you to kind of center yourself as well. Energy is timeless, that focus is timeless. So even though you'll be watching this video after I have already posted it, it will add to this kind of field that I'm creating now. All right. Let's take a peek. What are the messages for Gemini? That one flew out. What are the messages for Gemini coming into the month of June 2019? Okay. That's too many. A lot of energy coming forward. There we go. Interesting. So, coming into June, so this is kind of in May, or perhaps the very early part of June. Time is kind of fluid with these readings. I do see this King of Wands in the reverse. This is kind of in the physical or day-to-day position of your life. There might have been a fire sign who is kind of blocking things off or giving you some trouble. That could be someone who has a lot of Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius in their chart. Or just someone who's being very self-absorbed, very caught up in their own things, their own interests, and not really considering their impact on other people. I do feel like there is also just this feeling of you struggling to step into your own power, feeling a bit fatigued, exhausted even, not really sure what you're passionate about, not really sure what it is that gives you that zest, that life, and just feeling pretty drained, honestly, which makes a lot of sense because, again, the month leading up to your solar return tends to be a kind of heavy time, to be honest, so I'm not super surprised to see that there. However, we do have this Three of Pentacles kind of in the emotional position here. I think you've actually been pretty good with communicating with people, with kind of getting your needs met. If you're in a relationship, I feel like you've actually been doing a pretty good job at just communicating and working on things. There's been a lot of collaboration here. Perhaps you've been kind of trying to work with this King of Wands to the best of your ability. You've just been doing what you could. Or perhaps this person is making a situation where you're kind of working together with other people and getting your needs met elsewhere. That is kind of a theme I could pick up for that too. But it just seems like you're just kind of doing what you need to do. You're focusing on work. You're trying to do something that you love, or just, you know, learn new things as well. That is kind of a card of learning. But I really just see a lot of emphasis on connecting with others. That's something that's been really important to your heart lately. And if you haven't been doing that, then you've definitely been thinking a lot about that. I do have in the mental and communication sphere this Hanged Man that came out with the Two of Wands. Some of you are in communication, or have been rather, in communication with a Pisces. Although I'm really getting overall the sense that you kind of just been looking out for things here. You've been really focusing long term. In the month of May, you've kind of been looking out with this Two of Wands here, trying to see what's coming in, and maybe looking where you want to go next, trying to figure out your future, your plans, where this is going, especially if there is a Pisces involved or someone who's heavily placed with Pisces. But again, this is actually kind of complementary energy. This is kind of saying the same thing. There's this pause, there's this looking ahead, this thinking about what to do next. Some of you might be making travel plans or have been making travel plans. Some of you might have even traveled, but I'm actually getting more the sense that this was thinking about it, thinking about the future, planning things out. Some of you might have also been having a lot of intuitive downloads with this Hanged Man. It is kind of a card of divination and intuition, gaining new perspectives on a situation. And it just seems like you've been very thoughtful overall. You know, whatever it is that's been blocking you in your day-to-day life, you've still been working on the things you need to work on, and you are still thinking ahead. You are still thinking forward, and it actually seems pretty clear. It's just things are a bit stuck right now. And it's almost like whatever blockage you're dealing with in your day-to-day life has actually given you this chance to think about things in the long term, to think things through, and to look forward to things. This is really interesting. I'm going to pull an animal card now to kind of see what that energy is all about. They can be very clarifying cards. That's too many. All the cards are falling out for you guys. I think because this was kind of a more popular video last month, there's more of you tuning in, so there's more messages that are trying to come through. I'm just trying to get as clear as possible for now. But as for the animal energy, we do have this starfish. This is really interesting because this does tell me that you might be dealing with an emotional vampire, especially if this person was a fire sign. They might be a water sign too, especially a Pisces. But it seems like this is a person who, they're a bit superficial. To be honest, they might seem very special. They might seem like they have this divine, sublime quality to them. They're like a star in your eyes. They catch everyone's attention. And it's not to say that they're not special. It's not to say that they don't have gifts or something beautiful to share with the world. But very often they forget what that is because there is this focus on pleasing other people, or on being pleasing, or on being pleasing to other people, yeah. And it's kind of a card of appearances. There can be a little bit of superficiality. This card does warn of needing to be mindful of who you're spending your time with as well. When I think of starfish, I also think of the way that it digests things. Like, it will pry open an oyster or a clam, and it will actually extend its stomach outward and just it will actually digest things externally. And it's like, this is someone who will kind of eat your energy. They'll kind of eat you alive a little bit, and it's a weird feeling. You just feel very drained from this. And be mindful of where your energy is going and who you're giving your energy to. This could honestly also be some of your energy as well, kind of trying to get back in touch with what it is that really makes you happy. I do kind of see that with the Two of Wands and the Hanged Man. There is looking ahead, trying to figure out what it is you really want to do, how you can make your dreams come true. But that's interesting I'm getting the sense that a lot of you are surrounded by kind of toxic people. So it's important that you find people who really nourish you and nurture you from the inside, and who really support you and believe in you. They're not just kind of your friend on the surface level here. Shallow. You know, with starfish, shallow is a word that came up. Alright, let's see. I'm going to pull some more cards. We're going to look kind of at the first half of June now. Again, the time frame is relative. In fact, you might even find this video in another month or in another year. And I'd say trust the energy, trust the messages that come forward if it seems to be resonating for you. Because this wisdom reaches you as it's supposed to. These messages come to you at the right time. I really do trust that. Interesting. So we do have some more blockages kind of in the first part of June. I gotta be honest, we do have this Ace of Wands in the reverse. Again, this kind of seems like an extension from the King of Wands in the reverse. there's something you're trying to start, you're trying to get something, to get the ball rolling, and it's just being blocked off. Whatever this thing you're trying to do to begin, or trying to re-incite passion, or ignite passion in, it seems like there's just someone who is not, they're not having it. And again, it does kind of feel like this person you've been dealing with in the past. Or it could just be you having a hard time manifesting. Again, working with that new moon in Gemini, especially for you, is going to be so, so powerful. So take some time on June 3rd to write down all the things you want to manifest like it's already happening. Write it in the first person, present tense, like you've already received these things. That's going to really help get back in touch with your magic. And maybe that's also why this card is coming up too. It's blocked off right now, so you do need to reconnect with this, your manifestation ability, with your passion and your creativity. I do actually have the Artist in reverse, which is interesting. I kind of just realized that now. Again, there is this blocked off creativity. The Artist is a unique card to this deck. I'm kind of getting the sense from this that there is this, it's almost like the negative qualities of an artist, like this overly emotional, overly self-absorbed, kind of not seeing the bigger picture, you know, getting too wrapped up into something, and something that is kind of disconnected, to be honest. It's like whatever it is that's really weighing on you, if there's something that's weighing on you, it's not even really something in your immediate life, which is really interesting because you do have some blockages that can be taken care of, but it seems like your focus is elsewhere, your emotions are elsewhere. Some of you, you might be dealing with someone who's also very creative, who is coming in from the past. This could be an artist, it could be a writer, any sort of creative type, really. And this is someone who is really bringing up a lot of emotions for you. Fortunately, we do actually have the Six of Pentacles, so it's certainly not all doom and gloom here. We have this kind of in the mental position, and also I consider that communication as well. So there's a good give and take at the beginning of June, or the potential to establish that for yourself, especially if you're addressing the starfish energy. You know, you are bringing things back into balance with your communication. I do feel like you're getting your needs met, and you're helping other people get their needs met. It feels like there might also be someone who's extending themselves to you, kind of as like a karmic reward, or some sort of karmic equalizer. You are going to be supported by someone. It honestly feels more emotional. There could certainly be some sort of financial or physical component to this as well, but this actually feels more like someone extending their attention or their time with you, who really wants to help you. And I think they've seen all the work you've done, all the things you've put in, even if that's not being seen by the people around you. Again, that starfish energy is kind of screaming at me with that, but also this King of Wands. It seems like a fire or a water sign, or maybe perhaps someone who has a lot of both in their chart. That seems like someone a lot of you are dealing with. What is the animal wisdom now for the beginning of June for Gemini? I saw fireworks for some reason. And that seems like it's coming more the second part of July, or June. For some reason, I just, magic, things blowing up. Anyway, I do have this tarantula card that came out for you. So this, again, I do feel like there is something that needs to be shed here. I do feel like there is a decision that you're going to be needing to make. You're going to have to kind of choose between the status quo and something that is more in line with your higher purpose. Because with tarantula, they're very attuned to the environment around them, with all of these fine little hairs that cover their body. They're very attuned, very sensitive, even psychic at times. And unlike spider that waits for things to come to it, tarantula goes after what it wants. It's an ambush predator. And so this is about going after what you really care about, or who you really care about even, and kind of shedding the old. You're growing, you're molting, and you do have to go through this shedding process. But yeah, it's kind of this choice to make. Do you stay where you are or do you go forward? And the advice you're getting is to go forward. You already know the right decision. You already know what you kind of need to do. It's just acting on that and stepping forward. But I feel like a lot of you will. And I am honestly getting the sense of like, there is kind of this sense of danger. That's not usually what this card is associated with. But for some reason, there is someone to look out for. There might be someone kind of sneaking into your life. And perhaps that's this artist card in the reverse for some of you. But just be mindful of who's... There might be someone who's kind of watching you and about to come in. They might be watching you on social media. And they might kind of attack. That is something I'm getting. I hate to say, but gotta share. Just the messenger here. Anyway, let's see what we have for the second half of June and perhaps even beyond, kind of the outcome of where everything is going right now. And again, this always can be shifted, so if you don't like the message, you can definitely shift your energy by using the law of attraction and by taking actionable steps. That's actually the best way to use the law of attraction, is to do something physical, to change it. That really sets the strongest vibration. So you can change if you don't like the outcome. But I got fireworks, so we're going to see what that's about. Oh, yeah. I see why. Okay, one more. One more, please. Okay, alright. So we do have the Four of Pentacles in the reverse. This is kind of in the physical position again. The King of Cups in the emotional position. This is a really nice card to see. I think this is the fireworks. And we do have the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. So, I gotta be honest. If some of you are trying to negotiate something or establish some sort of like move into an apartment or go take a class or enroll in something or start a new job, you know, something day-to-day like that, something that's very much a part of the daily life, I actually do see a little bit of loss or a little bit of blockages here with this Four of Pentacles. There might be excessive spending. That's something to kind of keep your your eye out for. That actually something that's happening with Jupiter opposing Venus. I want to actually say right towards the middle of the month. And I do think there's also that Jupiter opposing Mercury. So some of you might be a bit spendy. That is something to be mindful of. And to also not on the converse, or not on the reverse, to hold too much to yourself. There is kind of a shedding, there is a letting go. Someone might also be kind of letting their guard down as well with you, especially if you've been dealing with this fire sign. I do feel like by the end of the month they are going to be opening up to you. Things are going to be kind of easing up, and the tension's just going to be sliding away. I do feel like with this Ace of Pentacles kind of in the reverse in the communication or mental sphere, again, there's this sense of trying to get the ball rolling on something, and you're having some delays, you're having some hard time making this happen. There might also be an offer that someone made that doesn't end up coming through, or someone kind of making you a false offer for stability. Again, this feels more work or, you know, daily stuff, maybe family stuff, not necessarily like friendships or romance. Although that could certainly be the case if you are in like a business partnership as well with someone close to you. But with this King of Cups, this is really, really nice. This tells me that you're going to have a very nice connection. This might be someone new coming in. They could be a water sign, so a Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer. It feels like a really good, nice, loving energy. This is someone who's very calm. You know, they're emotional, they're sensitive, they're very receptive, but they're very calm. They're just calm water. Still water runs deep is the expression I'm getting right now for this person. There's so much depth, there's so much loveliness. So there's such a lovely connection here. And I feel like you're really getting in touch with your own emotions in a very beautiful and profound way. And this kind of does also feel a little bit like the effects of Neptune going retrograde into Pisces. That's going to open up something for you. I think that's actually going to open you up to your own emotions, to your own psychic abilities, your own gifts as well. But this actually feels really, really good. So whatever it is that's happening towards the end of June, especially in your love life or in your close relationships, or just something that matters a great deal to your heart. It could even be like a job or a project that you're really putting your heart into. I actually see that as something that's really opening up for you by the end of June. It's going to be a little bit blocked off at the beginning, but kind of hold out for that a little longer. And I feel like some of you already have with the Two of Wands and the Hanged Man at the start of this read. I'm going to pull one more animal card now just to see what we have. Awesome. We have the Owl card. So this is kind of what I was talking about, this opening up of intuition with Neptune going retrograde. I actually feel like this is going to end up enhancing a lot of intuition for people. This is a card of clairvoyance and clairaudience. Owls are very adept hunters. They're nocturnal, obviously, so they're very good at seeing in the dark, at hearing things in the dark. They have very highly developed senses, and they're very attuned to the world around them. They don't know scarcity. They don't know this sense of poverty because they're so aware of all of the things, all of the critters beneath them, all of that prey, that nourishment, those blessings. And this is telling me that you need to kind of look for your blessings. It's there. It's just something you need to open your mind to. To bring this card into balance, they actually do suggest in the book to make an offering. And I almost think that would be a good thing to do for a full moon. So again, kind of towards around that full moon time, maybe burying something or giving something up that no longer serves you, or represents something that no longer serves you. That could be something, like an addiction, or something that was part of an addiction for you, or something from a previous relationship. With Sagittarius, I also see that as something that prevents you from growing, or makes you feel stuck. Something that represents your feeling of being stuck. Giving that up, and freeing yourself from that will be very helpful. I do also feel like giving up something that is a bit something you're still invested in, not just something you want to get rid of, but something that actually matters or means something to you. Because when you do that, it shows the universe that you're trusting that these blessings are just going to keep coming in, that you don't need to hold on to things forever, that there's just so much bountiful, there's a bounty of treasures, and you're opening yourself up to receiving that. That is a message I'm getting for a lot of you. And that's interesting. It's kind of the opposite what you're supposed to do for your birthday. You're supposed to receive, and you are going to be receiving some stuff with this Six of Pentacles. And Owl does say that there is a blessing that is coming. There is some sort of boon that may be coming towards you. Perhaps this Four of Pentacles in reverse is actually also someone giving you money. They might actually be spending on you. So that's something. That's a nice interpretation, right? I hope that's the case for most of you, that you receive a little gift, someone who's been a little bit stingy in the past, perhaps. They might be kind of paying you back. Kind of unexpected is what I'm getting. But yeah, there is a blessing that's coming for you here. I actually really do get the sense that it's very much connected to this King of Cups, so this blessing could actually be a new love, or kind of a deepening of a love connection for a lot of you. So I hope that this resonates. It seems like pretty good news is coming. And those are all the messages I am getting for you now, Gemini. Again, I do hope that this reading was helpful. Definitely hit like and subscribe, comment down below, and share your experiences. And keep your eyes out for that giveaway. I'll be announcing it again once we hit 10,000 subscribers. So definitely hit subscribe and share this video with your friends. Share my channel with your friends who you think might benefit from it too. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Bye, Gemini.